Happy Saturday, foodie friends and grain-free VIPs, and welcome to today's Slice of the Grain-Free Lifestyle episode, where our topic is, how can I get my grain-free, allergy-friendly food to taste like normal? My name's Nina Blake. I'm the Grain-Free Lifestyle Coach, and I'm here to help you level up your grain-free lifestyle so you can eat like normal again. All right, before we get into the nitty-gritty, I want you to sing with me. You ready? I am grain-free and I can do anything. I am grain-free and I can do anything. You are grain-free and you can do anything. You are grain-free and you can do anything. We are grain-free and we can do anything. We are grain-free and we can do anything. As you are coming on and being notified that I am live here, could you please say hello in the chat? I'm coming to you live from my house in Oakdale, Connecticut, and I am super excited. And if you are catching this on replay, could you please use hashtag replay? And that way I can reach out and thank you. Now, you want to stick around for today's whole live training because I have a very special announcement today that is going to transform your grain-free lifestyle forever. Okay, but first we're going to get into the topic. We want to talk about how we're going to get grain-free food to taste like normal. And when I say grain-free, allergy-friendly food, let me tell you what I avoid in my house. In our house, we don't have any gluten, grain, dairy, eggs, soy, corn, almond, cashew, peanut, sesame, legumes, and mostly lectin-free. We do have some of the lectins in like cauliflower and broccoli and parsley, things like that. You want the whole allergy list? Here it is. Apples, almonds, bananas, beef, blueberries, cassava, corn, dairy, eggs, all grains, peas, pork, potatoes, soy, pineapple, oranges, sunflower, lectins, legumes, active yeast, benzoic acid, and my husband is lectin and legume free. Now, so when I say grain-free, allergy-friendly food, that is what I mean. Some of you don't have to go that route. Some of you are just grains, dairy, eggs. Some of you are avoiding different foods. Same principle, okay? So the first thing we want to talk about is that food depends on appearance. Look, right here. If you have seen this, you're like, what's she got there? That ginormous list that I just gave you, there's none of that in here. This is a homemade cookie bar trifle. And if you're like, Nina, you learned to make that in cooking school. No, honey, no. Nina did not go to cooking school, okay? Nope. Did not go to cooking school. I did all this, I learned to do all this in my kitchen, and you can too, okay? So, it's gotta look right. And we can talk about techniques to do that, right? Then the texture has to be right because so much of flavor actually doesn't have to do with the flavor at all. It has to do with the way food feels in our mouth. If it doesn't feel right, it's not going to taste right. So when we change the flavor of a grain-free recipe, we are not only changing the look, we're changing the texture. And then lastly, what we look at is the flavor profile. So 3 things that we are going to look at today: appearance, texture, and finally flavor. Okay, now, what did I do to make this look all pretty? I just used my little easy accent decorator, dun 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 dun. And like any other trifle, I layered here. So what's in here? I have grain-free chocolate mousse, I have chocolate chip cookie bars, and I have a brand new dairy-free whipped cream that I am using. And so for those of you who want this recipe, please put recipe below. And if you're looking to transform your grain-free lifestyle, then I want you to put an emoji below because there's so much that we can do, not just to talk about flavor, but to transform the whole thing, because that's really what this is about, getting our lives back, not just eating like normal, but living like normal. So your clothes fit again, so that you can go to dinner with your friends and family. You can have people over and your food tastes normal and you're sharing and your kids aren't going, I don't want that. If your kids are doing that, stay tuned because I have some great information for you. One of my clients, she made a mac and cheese with my homemade American cheese. And she said, Nina, I tried it. The cheese tastes just like American cheese, but my kids don't like it because it's white. And in their brains, mac and cheese is supposed to be orange or yellow. Fair enough. I was once a 7-year-old and my brain said that looks yucky, right? So if it looked yucky, then I didn't want to taste it, okay? So what do? We change the appearance of the food. And I don't mean that we're gonna add some Franken colorings or even the drippity drippity. I mean, we're gonna use natural ingredients to make foods look the way that we expect them to do. So what did? We added some natural coloring, and she totally had faked her kids. She goes, yep, kids, new mac and cheese recipe, same American cheese. Kids devoured it because it looked right. When food looks beautiful, we want to eat it, right? So it's either appearance, it could be what they call food styling. I call it make your food look pretty. You're doing that with an ingredient or with a technique. And so now that leads me to the next one. And I want to show you. Take the plastic wrap off. So this is my cookie bar trifle. This is my second test. VIPs, the whipped cream recipe. You will have it before July 1st. And hopefully, if I'm doing really well, you have a trifle recipe before the 4th so that you can have cookie bar trifle. Now look at this. This is a trifle, okay? Got the chocolate mousse, right? Got the cookie bar, got the whipped cream, okay? The first time I made this, the texture was wrong. If you're like, texture, what's that? Remember, texture is the way food feels in our mouths. And if you are just joining me, please say hello in the comments so I can reach out and thank you. And if you're catching this on replay, remember to use #replay. Now, if you're looking to transform your grain-free lifestyle, drop an emoji below so I can reach out to you and give you the inside info because I have that huge announcement that is coming. I can't wait. I don't want to spill the tea now, but first I need to give you what you asked for, which is how can we make our grain-free food taste like normal? Now, texture. If it's a whipped cream, it shouldn't melt before it gets to your plate. We've all made that internet coconut cream and you whip it and you get coconut cream that melts on your dessert. This will not melt because we're using a different technique to change the texture so it stays fluffy like whipped cream. So when food looks pretty and it has the right texture, then we're starting to change the way we feel about it. We haven't even talked about flavor yet. But if something has the right flavor and it doesn't have the right texture, we won't like it. So let's go to the absolute hardest thing in the entire world. Hardest texture ever, bread. These are my hamburger rolls. Made these yesterday. Served them up to a grain-free friend. Served them up to my husband, who's grain-free, and a grain-loving friend of ours. Okay? And I'm slicing my roll because I'm having a burger for dinner tonight. So I'm not wasting. Never waste bread. Okay. Now look at the inside. Right? It looks like bread. It tastes like bread. The texture is right. If the center were all gluey, if it weren't cooked through, then it wouldn't taste right in our mouth. Texture is essential. You can see these little pockets here, these little air pockets. These are called the crumb in a bread. If your crumb is not right when you bite into it, if it's too soft, your mouth doesn't pick it up as bread. If it's too hard, it tastes like a rock. So if baking is a particular challenge to you, I hear you. I have spent 14 years in the grain-free lifestyle, and it is positively maddening when we talk about what it takes to make a grain-free bread, right? But you don't have to do this on your own. I spent 14 years doing this in my kitchen, learning the techniques so that now I can teach them to you. So if you're looking to get yourself some awesome grain-free rolls, put rolls below so I can get you this roll recipe. Okay, so, and what is your dream grain-free meal? Because that's what this is about, not my recipes. My recipes are a start, right? It's about you getting your grain-free recipes back to your table so you can share your family traditions again, okay? So what is separating you from enjoying that? And I know we still haven't talked about flavor yet. We have a lot to get to when we talk about flavor. Arlene, you're doing such a great job. If you're watching live with me now and Arlene is commenting and tagging everybody, could you just say thank you to Arlene? Because I couldn't do this without you, Arlene. One more bite of trifle. Okay? Can you see the cookie bar in there? It's so good. So we want to make sure that our grain-free, allergy-friendly food looks like normal food. We want to give it the texture of a normal bread so that our breads look like bread, they feel like bread in our mouth. Same with pastas, cakes, particularly our classic carbohydrate heavy desserts and whatnot. Hey Judy Noiska, so glad you're here live with me. Because once our foods look like normal and they have the normal texture, then we're narrowing that, right? And so then we get into the actual ingredients that contribute to the flavor of the food. I'm gonna categorize this into two groups. The overpowering flavors, the ones that we want to get rid of, like coconut and almond. Because when every one of your baked goods tastes like coconut or almond, or you have a savory sauce, it shouldn't taste like coconut or almond. Or even chickpea. Chickpea's a big one. Nobody wants a cookie to taste like chickpeas. Matter of fact, early in my career, I had a lovely lady from church. She gave me a chickpea cookie recipe, and we couldn't even eat them. We baked them, and they smelled like socks. Couldn't even take a bite. We tried, we're like, ooh, spit them out. It was awful. So we have those overwhelming flavors. And then we have the flavors that we can't seem to achieve. A flavor of butter, for example, that richness of a buttery cookie is a really hard flavor to achieve. Did you know that the buttery flavor has something to do with texture too? I know. This is where it all comes together. This is where the food sciencing happens. I promise you. I'm coming to that huge announcement because the announcement ties it all together, and I'm so excited to share this with you. So with those overpowering flavors, doesn't mean we can't use those ingredients. It means we need to use techniques and ingredients to neutralize those flavors. VIPs, you know what I'm talking about. When we make our homemade American cheese, cheddar cheese, mozzarella cheese, it doesn't taste like coconut because we neutralize the flavor of coconut. Ask any of my VIPs who have made the cheese. They are flipping their lids because they can have cheese again. If you saw my burgers last night, got American cheese, and our friend who's a grain lover, dairy lover, she was just like, it's cheese, Nina. What's the big deal? Exactly. What's the big deal? The big deal is you get to eat like normal again when you neutralize those overpowering flavors. Brightening. What's brightening? Brightening is when you bring out flavors that are already there. I'll give you an example. Garlic. Now you don't want to overdo the garlic because then it would be like, whoo, but you want to bring it out. And so you can use a little bit of lemon juice, for example, to make that garlic pop, right? And so it will give you a nice flavor of garlic without a punch you in the nose and you smell like garlic for 3 days flavor. Then there's balancing flavors. If you're like, what's she talking about now? I told you I have not gone to cooking school. Everything that I have learned to do is what I have discovered from reading, testing in my own kitchen. And that is what makes this unique. That is why I've been able to help 100 families in a way that nobody else can, because these are techniques that nobody else has. So balancing flavors. If you've ever made a homemade cookie, you know you put a little salt in, right? Because if it's all sugar, you need those contrasting flavors to balance each other. Have you ever made a chocolate recipe that didn't call for vanilla? Exactly. Now vanilla gets into the next category. It does balance the chocolate, but it also layers. If you make a chocolate chip cookie, for example, and you are not adding vanilla, you will notice that it just seems to be missing something, right? So let's do a quick summary. You want to make your grain-free, allergy-friendly foods look like your normal foods. That's what we're going for. If you've gone to a restaurant before, you've had the most beautiful food, and then you're like, didn't taste right. They had the appearance, awesome. They had the look. Then the texture. The texture, just like in my fluffy grain-free hamburger rolls. The crumb is right. This one's a little but the crumb is right. It feels right in your mouth. And remember, if you want the hamburger roll recipe, put recipe below so I can reach out to you and help you access it. And then, texture is about not just ingredients, but technique. What's technique? Technique is what we do and when we do it. Let me give you an example. When you make homemade chocolate chip cookies, doesn't matter if you make them the standard way or if you make them the grain-free way, you have to follow the order of ingredients. Yeah, learn that the hard way. Go me. Learn that the hard way. When I decided to add the flour before I added the eggs. Yeah, no, you make bricks that way. Order of ingredients is one simple technique. What's another technique from your chocolate chip cookies? Creaming your ingredients. You do that when you add your sugar, your egg, your shortening, and you make it all this fluffy, wonderful mix that then easily absorbs your dry ingredients. Mixing your dry ingredients ahead of time is another technique. Now, for those of you who say, oh, I always do that, great. But there are recipes where you shouldn't do that because you can overmix and get a different texture than what you're looking for if you don't use the right technique. So texture. Texture is about technique. Texture is what? Texture is about technique. And if you're looking to learn more about those techniques that create the texture so your grain-free breads can look and taste like normal, put technique below because techniques are where it's at. All right, and then we get into the flavor. You want to neutralize the overpowering flavors. The flavors like the coconut, the almond, the chickpea. Very simple. And for those of you who are like, oh, if a recipe has chickpea, I won't even look at it. You don't have to, because you can break the recipe. And that is what I do. You break the recipe. You take out the ingredients that don't work. You add back the ingredients that work safely for you. And then you get the food that you're dreaming of without grains, allergens, and overpowering ingredients. Okay, now, are you ready? Because you've stuck around with me this entire time. I'm so excited. You guys. I am so excited to teach you everything that I have learned in 14 years of being grain-free. Now, I'm not saying you have to do it in 14 years. I'm saying we're going to do this in 1 year. I have taken everything that I have learned, broken it down, made it accessible and on demand for you so that you are going to have at your fingertips all my exclusive recipes, all my cooking classes. That's more than 40. The first person who signs up for this gets every cooking class I've ever recorded live. They're on demand now, obviously. I'm not doing them all live. But you're going to get every cooking class I've ever recorded. And you're going to get my technique toolbox. This program, Grain-Free Transformation, contains 19 cooking classes, unless you sign up before everybody else does, and then you get, I think this would make it 50 if you're the first one to sign up. The first one to sign up gets 50 classes, okay? 50 classes, and what are the classes? Pancakes, waffles, muffins, indulgent egg rounds, breads, hamburger rolls class, which is brand new. I'm recording that next week. Nobody has had this class yet. You will be the first, okay? Plus my masterclass on grain-free, allergy-friendly ingredients, breads, cakes, cake decorating, the class that is coming on the trifle. So I'm going to teach you, I'm going to walk you through making this trifle, holding your hand so that you and your family can eat like normal again. And that is just the beginning. You're like, what? That's a lot, Nina. I'm going to hold your hand through this so that when you come to our private coaching sessions, private, just you and me on Zoom, the only difference is I'll be able to see you. You'll tell me what your goals are, and I'm going to walk you through taking your family recipes so that you can break them and enjoy them safely without grains or allergens. Arlene, thank you so much for putting the link to my calendar in the chat. I want you to use that link. I want you to put your name on my calendar. There's going to be a question there about your ability to invest in your wellness. Why am I asking you that? Very simple. I am not going to offer you something that is beyond your means. So I have to ask that uncomfortable question, okay? So when we meet, we'll meet on Zoom. We're going to talk about your goals, and I'm going to show you the program. I'm going to show you the cooking classes. What classes are those again? Waffles, pancakes, indulgent egg rolls without eggs, waffles, pancakes, muffins, chicken nuggets, air fryer and standard oven. I learned how to fry in the oven. This is one of the techniques I'm teaching you. How to neutralize those really heavy ingredients that you don't like the flavor of, okay? I'm walking you through the ingredients one at a time. I'm teaching you about hidden grains, where they hide in foods, and how to avoid them. You're gonna get my brand new baking library. Now, what is this program called? It's going to transform your lifestyle. So what is it? It's Grain-Free Transformation. I want you to click that link, get your name on my calendar. I've only got 3 spots for this, and I want to make sure you get one. This program is by interview only. So click that link. Don't be scared. If you're watching this now and you're like, I don't know if that's for me, you'll never know unless we meet. You've tried everything else. So how bad would it be to have a little more normal food in your life? Grain-free, allergy-friendly. How delicious would that be? So click my calendar link, and I will see you on the inside. Now, I gotta sing us out because I believe in you. I've got 3 spots for this, and I know that for one of these people watching, you're kind of going, I don't know, Nina. So I'm gonna remind you, I am grain-free and I can do anything. You are grain-free and you can do anything. We are grain-free and we can do anything. So get your name on my calendar, and together we're gonna transform your grain-free lifestyle so you can enjoy normal food again. I believe you can do this because the possibilities are endless when you break a recipe.